Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to my Virtual Arcade. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and if you like my content, hit that like button. It really helps the channel to grow and also motivates me to create more content for all you amazing peeps. And if you don't enjoy the content, go ahead and hit that like button anyways. Today I'm going to show you a few cool pinball games you can play on a modded Wii using different emulators, and also how I get a virtual pinball experience using a little bit of imagination. Now, if you haven't been living under a slimy 2,000-pound rock for the last 6 months, you'll know that virtual pinball has been getting a lot of attention thanks in part to companies like Arcade1Up recently showing off 2 upcoming virtual pinball machines. I personally can't wait to get my hands on the Star Wars version when it comes out. From the footage I saw, it looks freaking amazing. And then we have Toy Shop, who have already released their version of a virtual pinball machine, and Jesus Christ, it looks awful. I mean, look at that thick ass bezel. Are they also trying to make this a bar top for the 30 cans of beer you're slamming down while gaming? Or maybe it can also be used as a landing strip for airplanes? Who knows what the Toy Shop was thinking. But let's move on to the modded Wii goodies and how I have my pinball setup going on. First thing I have is my shelf in front right under my TV. You people at home can use a table or a TV dinner tray, something along those lines. Next, I grab my 2 arcade sticks and place them about 1.5 feet to 2 feet apart, about the width of a pinball machine. You can use 2 shoe boxes to get about the same width. Next, I'll be using my nunchuck and Wiimote. The nunchuck will end up being the left paddle and the Wiimote will be the right paddle. And I place these on the sides of my arcade sticks. Finally, once I got a pinball game on, and if the option is available in the game, I set the view to a stationary angle to get the best view without that camera moving around. Once it's all set up, it feels and looks freaking amazing. You can see some footage of me playing Crazy Taxi right here, and I'm just totally into it. I'm just in the zone. I gotta come clean with you guys, I'm not the best pinball player, so if you see a lot of cringe-worthy gameplay, you're just gonna have to bear through it, but it won't be that bad. The games are fun and exciting, trust me. I'm gonna list the 3D pinball games and leave out any 2D pinball games like Sonic on the Genesis, because those types of games like Sonic Pinball don't really give you that authentic virtual pinball feel, and I'm trying to get that authentic arcade experience, as you guys all know. So the first game up is an actual re-release and it's called Pinball Hall of Fame. It's a collection of classic Gottlieb pinball games: Genie, El Dorado, Black Hole, Love Meter, Ace High, Big Shot, Zoltan, if you want to hear your depressing future before it happens, Central Park, Playboy, Giggity, Teed Off, Going Nuts, Victory, and Strikes and Spares. Let's jump into Genie first. You can tell this was a pretty old pinball machine, and by the way, most of the pinball machines in this collection don't have much on the sides to keep you from losing your ball, so be prepared for that annoyance. It does happen frequently. So I'm flipping through a couple camera angles here just to find the best playfield, so again I get that virtual pinball feel, aesthetic, all the way around. This is Black Hole. I like the space graphics and sounds on this one, and it even has a lower layer pinball in that little window you see there, which makes this machine pretty badass. It stands out from the rest in this collection of pinball machines. Second game is another Wii title, also Pinball Hall of Fame, but this is the Williams collection, and I definitely remember seeing these. There's Taxi, Gorgar, Space Shuttle, Firepower, Black Knight, Funhouse, Jive Time, Pinbot, Sorcerer, and Whirlwind. I'm getting right into Funhouse because this is a beautiful rendition of the actual machine I used to see as a kid. I mean, everything about this game is on point, and this brings back a lot of memories, and I get a lot of nostalgia playing this one. Here's Pinbot. Never saw it in the arcades, but I love the retro futuristic theme, kind of cyberpunkish. The third game, Dream Pinball 3D, originally came out on Windows in 2006 but was ported to the Wii in 2008. These pinball machines are made up and never existed in the arcades, but they're still pretty fun. This includes Night Tournament, Monsters, Dino Wars, Aquatic, Spinning Rotors, and Amber Moon. So to be honest, these tables feel a little bit generic and similar to each other as compared to the Gottlieb and Williams collections, but they still hold up. This is my favorite table right here, Monsters, because of the Halloween kind of dark ambient kind of feel it gives you. Now, all of the tables, like I said, they're a bit generic. However, all of the 3D renderings are great. The colors really pop, and I think that the playfield is good. My only gripe with these games, or I should say this game, the collection of these pinball machines, is the camera. I don't have that stationary lock playfield. It's a bit of a smart camera that follows the ball, but then again, that's just my personal preference. And hey, maybe you like that smart camera, and you do have a couple of different options to change it too.
Get your parachutes on.
The sounds on each of these tables are really good though. I really like the sounds. I think that's what gives it more of an ambiance than the actual tables themselves. The technical design of each of these tables is pretty well laid out too, so that also is a plus for this collection. Alright, and the fourth game up is also a Wii title. Alien Crush Returns was actually released on the Wii as one of the first WiiWare titles back in 2006, and even today, this game looks fucking gorgeous. It only has 3 levels, but they feel significantly different to each other in my opinion. You get power-ups along the way that add to the gameplay, but this game is challenging. The only thing I wish it did have was the option to have a stationary camera view, but regardless, I can't knock this game. It's unique as hell and shows off what virtual pinball can be on a small little Wii console. This game has seen different iterations on other consoles and I believe in the arcade as well, but they were usually 2D versions. This is the only 3D version that I know about, but if you know about any other 3D versions of this game, let me know down in the comments below. Do yourself a favor and go get the WAD for this WiiWare title. Do not sleep on this. The fifth game on my list, Super Pinball Behind the Mask, is from the SNES and can be played on the Wii using the SNES 9X GX emulator. I honestly just came across this game recently and it still holds up graphically and physics-wise too. It packs in Jolly Joker, Blackbeard and Iron Man, and Wizard. All 3 have kind of a dark and airy theme throughout, and I like it. I love the preset camera angle on these tables in this game. It gives the visual playfield a realistic dimension that I didn't even think was possible on the SNES. This game doesn't have the most technical pinball machines, but they still do a damn good job for a game from 1993. And by the way, most of the pinball games back then were all 2D, if they were on the Super Nintendo or Genesis. The best part about playing this game through the SNES 9X GX emulator on the modded Wii is that I have the option to set up the controls so that I can use the Wiimote and Nunchuck, which allows me to play this game on the setup that I showed you guys earlier. This is a fantastic addition, by the way, so don't miss out. Go find this game for your modded Wii ASAP. The sixth game is Super Pinball 2 The Amazing Odyssey, also from the SNES, and can again be played on the Wii using the SNES 9X GX emulator. This is the second edition of the previous game with 3 new pinball machines to choose from. The game format is pretty much the same as the last release, and the graphics and sound seem to be at the same level as their prior venture as well, but that's not a bad thing. Like I said, for the SNES, this gem still holds up today and it has supplied me with hours of virtual pinball goodness. My personal fave pinball machine on here is the fake James Bond machine. I mean, it's Sean Connery. Just call this one Baines John 700 and you have yourself a pretty badass bootleg. Super Pinball 2 is a great follow-up to the first Super Pinball, and it is a great addition to my modded Wii collection, so definitely go and get this game by whatever means necessary. Wink wink. Seventh game on the list, I hate to say it, is a failure. Not because it's a bad game, but because of the emulator being used. Pro Pinball for the PS1 has many iterations. Unfortunately, I tried playing their Fantastic Journey release using the WiiSXR emulator, and it just doesn't play the game correctly. The game looks great until you release that ball, and oh my god, it's like I'm seeing trails from that asset I took back in 1996. The worst part about this is that the more the ball moves, the more trails you get, and they just keep layering on top of each other. I tried different settings within the emulator, but sad to say, this game is a no-go. But if you have gotten this game or any of the Pro Pinball games to work on the modded Wii, feel free to let me know how you did it. The final 3D pinball game on my list is called True Pinball. This game was also released on the PS1, so you can use the WiiSXR emulator for this. And you know what, you guys? It works flawlessly. Well, almost flawlessly, except for a few graphical issues, and they're very small. It looks good. It has a nice 3D playfield view, but my only gripe is that I don't have the option again to lock the view in place, and it has a semi-smart ball view, so the camera pans up and down. The choice of pinball machines on here vary quite a bit from one another, with my favorite being Law and Justice. It's kind of a Judge Dredd kind of vibe. This game was definitely made in the mid-90s, and that's not a bad thing. The graphics are nice and bright, and the pinball mechanics are solid as well. The only gripe with this is just the way that it emulates. If you notice, every once in a while, the ball tends to cut in and out of some of the graphics, but that's really the only small issue with this game running on this emulator. The cool thing about WiiSXR is it allows you to customize your controls, so I am able to set up the buttons so that I can use my Wiimote and nunchuck for this. Alright y'all, that's it for my list of cool pinball games you can play on a modded Wii using different emulators. Did I miss any 3D pinball games that you know of? Are there any 3D pinball games you want me to test out on a modded Wii? Let me know down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this episode of my Virtual Arcade, venturing into the world of virtual pinball on the Wii. If you enjoyed the vid, please hit that like and also subscribe if you haven't already. Catch you on the next episode, peeps.